Okay, I show us at 9 o'clock. I think we're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order.
Recording in progress.
Okay. All right. Looks like the first order of business is the Lake City Skiers. Chuck? He's back.
Because we'll have more hotel room nights there. The other things that we're doing and working on right now for the off years, when we don't host all three tournaments, there are new tournaments that have developed and have really taken off. One is the Buck Up Freestyle Jump Tour, which we're doing this year in combination with our City of Lakes tournament. They also have a doubles tournament now, of course, the Flaunet Swivel tournament, and then a what's called Send It Jump tournament. So we can host those in the off years when we don't have all three tournaments, along with our City of Lakes tournament and the All-Star Show. So we can pull people in more weekends through the summer, larger groups than just our average crowd on our Sundays and Tuesdays. So that's kind of what's going on with the team. I am requesting, the grant for additional bleachers will give us around 600, more seating at the site, which we're really going to need with what we've got going on and what's coming in the future.
So you've got the quotes, Chuck, and it's 72,000 for both. So is it 300 additional seats if you only do the one bleacher and 300 additional seats if you do the other?
Well, not exactly, because one of them is 21 feet long. So it's, less seating. The other one is 27 feet long.
Okay.
So it's not half and half.
How does it break down?
I'd have to do the calculations on it. For the 21 foot, I think it's somewhere around 200 to 250. And then, the 27 foot, would be more than that.
If you had your preference, would you want the 27 footer or if we had to split?
if I had to split, I'd say the 27-footer.
Okay,
That's what I-
Looking at the show site layout and everything. You know, the way we had looked at putting them in there was the 21-foot would go to the east end, which would be by our main starting dock, that end, and the other one would go towards where the concession stand is. We're moving the concession stand this year anyway, moving it back across the other side of the parking lot so we can have more room there. So, you know, that's kind of what we were looking at.
is that installation cost change if you only go to, is it reduced if you only install one? Because I see on the quote, it's just,
I would have to check with Rosalind at the.
I mean, it's probably not gonna cut in half if you
It's not
didn't
gonna,
do
yeah, it's
both,
not gonna
but-
cut in half. It's one of those things where they've already got the expense of bringing the crew in,
Right,
you know, and all of that. So it's not gonna really, you're talking about maybe 2 days' labor difference, whatever that figures out to be.
So if we were to do half of what you're wanting, are you going to do the additional one, try to get funding elsewhere, or are you just going to nix one of them?
Well, we would, you know, obviously we can't afford that out of our budget. And as far as other available grants, we really don't qualify for that type of, you know, funding under the guidelines of those other grants. Does that make sense?
so it'd have to come out of operating funds, bottom line, if they were gonna do it, because they don't, it's a sporting event.
Right.
They're not really
It's
health
not
and
a-
safety and any of the other things that are
Yeah, I
out there.
mean, I know that Lauren Burris, who's a certified trainer, has put in for a grant from the K-21 to get us a EAD, you know, to have on site. You know, that's kind of where that, but as far as
Yeah.
for something like
Right.
this, it, you know, wouldn't qualify.
Do you anticipate to see continued growth, or what was the growth, that big jump a couple of years ago? Do you anticipate more growth over the years, or is it?
Yeah, last year we had our largest crowds that we've ever had. We averaged about 1,800 people per show. At our All-Star show, we had about 2,300 people there, and that was just for a show. Of course, it's a bigger show. We bring in, and I've already had people contacting me, bring MC people on that level. Hey, when's your All-Star show? I want to be a part of it again this year. So that's a big draw because of the superstar status skiers that we bring in for that tournament. So we get a lot of people that come from, you know, other states and stuff that weekend to see those skiers all together. This year, especially with the tournaments, I anticipate just at our shows, weekly shows, we'll have over 2,000 people there, average, easy.
And currently, your bleachers seat how many?
The main bleachers seat 1,200. And then we have additional bleacher seating, our older bleachers that we put out there. So we have like a total of 1,687 total. And, you know, some of those are old wooden bleachers. And, you know, they're
Not very safe.
maintenance costly. What's that?
They're not very safe.
They're not, yeah, they're not, and that was pointed out to us by one of the companies that give us a bid on bleachers, that, you know, those should be upgraded and, because they didn't meet proper safety requirements with railings and the kick plates where people can't fall through and that kind of thing on the older ones. So, and that's, part of the reason we're looking at, okay, let's get a couple more sections of the 15-row bleachers that are up to code. We can get rid of some of those smaller bleachers and, work towards bringing things up.
With what you talked about with moving the concessions, you were talking about more space opening up there with the concessions area?
Yeah.
Is that where people put like their chairs and things when they bring chair seating?
Yeah, that's kind of our lawn chair area over on that side. And like, for our tournaments, we'll have a beer garden over in that area. And so that will open that up, where more people can sit. A lot of people like to go over there and sit, during the show, during the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And, in 2019, we saw 13,000 people come through the show site over the 3-day tournament. And I expect that to be bigger this year. We always have bigger local crowds. And when I say local, it's more of a regional, because we do draw a lot of people from over in Ohio and up Michigan, southern Indiana, because it's so much closer than having to go to, Wisconsin or over to Rock Island, or Rockford. So people are willing to travel in for the weekend to, to see that tournament because of the level of talent that's there. And with what we're doing, and I was in and talked to Matt at Dream On Studios the other day, and I think that they're going to put together a really great promotional video that we can get out there. So I anticipate an even bigger crowd this year for that tournament, as well as the other two.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, I agree. It is,
I mean, I'm still leaning towards, hey, it makes sense to do,
One.
to do one,
I'm-
but the labor cost, I think, is gonna be,
And you got freight.
then you got freight, you're
Right.
paying
Coming
it
out of Florida, is
twice.
that right?
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
just,
so you got freight, so I
right,
think,
we're doing it twice. I mean, and we've got funds available.
I just make a motion, we approve the 71,000.
Okay?
Second.
Okay,
All right.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think it'll make a big difference. And, one of our things is that, we want to help with tourism. I mean, that's why we do what we do is, to draw people in and provide something for the
Well,
community.
fill those hotels, would you?
That's what I was gonna say.
What's that?
Fill
Get 'em
those
full.
hotels, would you?
Well, they're already, you know what?
Already starting to.
I called, I had a request for Mark Jackson, who's the
Yeah.
announcer for the Division I, and Scott Cronk, who's the in charge of the video for the live feed. And I called a hotel and they said, we're already booked. And I was like, wait a minute, you're supposed to hold some rooms open for me. And they're like, well, the message didn't get to the desk. So fortunately, we did get them booked in a room. So, yeah, I mean, the hotels are already full for all 3 tournaments. So, we may be looking for some spots marked to put people
Some
up.
rentals.
We can turn to the Skabowski Airbnb.
Yeah.
We gotta pay our tax on it. We gotta pay our occupancy tax on it.
That's right.
That'd be okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks.
Okay, looks like next we have the Henry Ward Park. Chad?
I got a couple additional things if you guys want maps or anything, what I'm talking about here. But Henry Ward Park is owned and operated by the town of Syracuse. It's adjacent to the Syracuse boat ramp that is there on Syracuse Lake. Town of Syracuse Parks did a study a couple years ago, a master plan, not kind of like Kosciuszko County did, but a maintenance and update plan. And this park was one of our focuses in terms of what we want to do there. And so, in looking at that, our bathrooms that are there, no one knows in Syracuse when they were built. We can't find any record of them. There are block buildings that now have multiple holes in them from leaks because the water lines were all run in the concrete walls. They are dirty, they're dingy, we paint them yearly and they end up problems. So, in looking at that, we decided to refurbish those, and we have been really successful with adding our restrooms to a pavilion facility. So in that, we have kind of gone through a plan of, can we put those things together at that park? And so that's why we're here. We're looking for funding to help with that restroom pavilion. That boat ramp is busy 5 days a week when it's nice. Usually Tuesdays are a little slow. Weekends it's packed. We have multiple bass fishing tournaments for the state of Indiana that use that ramp. People come from all over. I know in June, upcoming June, we have the youth tournament for the state. The guy I'm talking to for that is out of Indianapolis, so I know we'll have people coming in from all over for this youth tournament. As part of this, we've gone out and solicited some other funds. We have approximately $77,000 that we have either through individual contributions or other grants toward this project. What I gave you in our grant application was an estimate based on a pavilion we built a couple years ago in Lakeside Park. I do have final numbers from a couple builders that came in this week to me. I've been really pushing to get me something that I could present to you guys. Number I put in there was $120,000. I got 2 quotes. One was approximately $130,000 round numbers. The other one was about $200,000 in terms of round numbers. Well, something like 129,688. So close
sure.
enough. So that's kind of where we're at. I am looking to see if you guys would be willing to help us with that project, and go from there. So, questions for me? I've got some maps of where we're located. I've got the 2 estimates here that I can give you guys if you're interested in that.
Yeah, I think the estimates would be helpful, and then I'll take a look at the map. I'm pretty familiar with it,
I'll
but
just give you all what I got here. I got 4 packets. So in there is the pavilion plans, and the map, and then the top 2 are the highlighted in there. So as you can see, the map there, like I said, adjacent to the boat ramp, State Road 13 is adjacent to that red building on the left side. That's Beef's Booze Barn. The railroad tracks run on the south side, on the bottom of that page there. So our park is right in the middle. We would be moving, the restrooms are on the far right-hand side. Currently, the 2 little square buildings down by the boat ramp, they'll actually be moving into the middle, more to the middle of the park where the pavilion currently is, which is almost in the center of that map I gave you guys.
so you mentioned you're hosting the state tournament. You get a lot of fishing tournaments. Any idea on the number of?
I
people
tried
that
to
are
get
in
some
there?
information for this year from the state.
Sure.
Haven't heard anything back.
Sure.
Last year, I think we hosted like 20 fishing tournaments out of the Syracuse ramp. I know there are more out of Wawasee, but
Right.
that's not adjacent to where we're at. So,
Sure.
most of the time, it's a couple times a month during the summertime. I think last year, July had 3 of the 4 weekends that had a fishing tournament of some sort, so.
And is that a private launch? Do people pay to launch there, or is it?
No, that's a state
State, so-
operated, DNR operated launch there on
Okay.
Syracuse, yep. Yeah, right now we've got like 3 of our pier companies have machines parked there because they're starting to put piers in on Syracuse Lake, so It's just a public use.
Okay.
And that is the only public use on that side of the lake in the town of Syracuse? Or-
That is the only ramp on Syracuse Lake. There's another one on Wawasee in the southeast corner of Wawasee.
Right, but on that side of the lake.
We have 2 additional parks that are on Syracuse Lake. One is Lakeside Park, which is across from our community center. That's the largest one. And then we have a little pocket park that's just essentially the end of a road that's there. But that's the one where most people access that
that's the only-
aren't on the, yeah.
On
That's
that
the only
side.
public ramp on that.
That's the
side.
only,
On that
public
side.
ramp. Yep. Yep.
And since the quotes came in all over the map, where are you leaning towards? If you don't get enough funding, how are you going to be able to continue with the project?
We have done work with the 2 people that are combined to the smaller quote. We've actually done work with the larger one too. But we think we have some people who might be willing to help fund this for whatever we can't raise at the end. And there are gonna be a couple additional costs on top of that, like running sewer line is not included in that grant amount that we're looking for. So there are gonna be some additional costs that we'll absorb park-wise as well, because we don't know what those costs are until we get the hole open and see what's there, so.
Okay.
Power, NIPSCO coming in, that type of thing, we'll absorb those costs.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion to approve if we can get a second, then we'll have some discussion, because I got some ideas. Okay. So the reason I want to get to the discussion part is, Kathy and I talked a little bit offline. We funded, the thing is, you got a town coming to us asking for money for something that a lot of people can use, town residents, but in this case, there's a lot of folks coming from out of town as well. It doesn't always have to be about hotel nights, right? It's quality of life and those things for the rest of the community. We've donated quite a bit to the Limitless Park in Winona Lake. So, I mean, that's my reason for, okay, first when I saw it, I was like, what?
So was I
A
at
bathroom
first.
and
I went,
in the
"What?"
park? Really?
Yeah.
But then as I think that through, that for me is a big piece. We've done other
Kind of
parks
set a
as well.
trend in it.
We funded a lot of the trail. Not that Wawasee hasn't done a lot, but this is the first time something for Syracuse Lake has come up in my years. So, and the lakes are a big part of what we're doing. So that was my reason behind it.
I would agree.
So,
All in favor? Aye.
Thanks, guys.
thanks.
Okay. All right, looks like we have the wagon wheel here.
Yeah, hi, good morning. We are just here to give you guys a quick update. We are about halfway through the funding on our Phase 1 project for White Hill, and then we are just wrapping up our website as far as the monetary piece of it. It is done. It is live. It is active. People have been visiting it. We've gotten a lot of really great responses from it, and just in general, it tells our story better as a community. If you've gotten the chance to visit the visit page, we're really proud of that. A lot of time and energy was put into that spot in particular, and we hope to continue to expand that. So we just have about $3,000 left on that one. That final quote is coming in and being paid, or not quote, excuse me, invoice is coming in from the development team that built the site, and we'll be paying that out. And then we've still got about 20 to 21,000 left on the Phase 1 of White Hill. So we just wanted to give you an update that that's still working, that's still work in progress. As you know, and how we presented, we knew this building project was gonna be start, stop, and it has been that. But we're very pleased with Milestone's progress on the work. They've taken very good, diligent care of the very old building. They do think they've gotten all of the roof leaks taken care of. So now we're actually in works with them right now to look at what Phase 2 will be. And we are very cautious and concerned that that might be actually where most of the damage has been, is in the plumbing, is in the piping. So they're doing a very, very thorough, multiple site visits, looking at every nook and cranny, and we're preparing that quotes right now with Milestone for what Phase 2 might be, and then hopefully a potential Phase 3 as well. So that's a little update. I don't know if you have any questions about any of our reimbursement requests so far or anything about the work we've been doing.
No.
We
We get
just-
the request, it's in the numbers, we
Great.
approve it.
Perfect,
That's-
perfect.
That's our
Wonderful.
part of that role. so.
Wonderful. Well, it is such a big project. It's the biggest one we've done with you guys, so we wanted to give you guys that update, give you the chance to talk to us more or ask any questions. But thank you all for your support. Really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see you all this summer. I know we'll see some of you.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, Corey, update from the CVB.
How is everyone on this March day?
Fantastic.
I know, thank goodness. I have a couple pieces I wanted to share with you before I start. As always, more hoteliers get their occupancy tax set from Star, but if you guys wanted to take a peek, I'm gonna do a quick update on all of those. These are just a couple of updated brochures, supplemental outside the district guide. Just completed based on the passports that you assisted with.
I had a request too for this. The
Yes.
bird watching. Have you thought any more about doing anything with trails, bird watching
I know.
type? It's been a while.
Specifically-
It was prior to you. So I've had a lot of people come to the hotel and asking about these trails that are bird watchers that
Yes.
really are interested in, I
It's
don't know how
funny
you
you
would go
said that.
about that, but different locations, different parks, different places that they could do
Okay.
that.
They're looking
I
for
said I
more
would bring it up.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That's funny you say that because I believe some of our most engaging social media posts have been related to bird watching. I know that sounds unusual.
It did to me too, when I'm
But-
at the desk more, but it's something that people are really interested in.
So an additional spot somehow or another for you to, okay, we'll look into it. Because we
Okay.
do know that it is something done, but it's not something we specifically have best places to bird watch in
Right.
Kosciuszko County.
Maybe we need to find
Maybe-
those.
maybe we need to start
I have
researching
a
that.
staff member that's an avid, maybe I need to get her involved and ask her where those spots in the county are.
Well, and if anyone knows who, any community members that are avid bird watchers that would
Right.
know outside the CVB.
Aggie Sweeting, who's on the
Okay.
Duke County Park Board.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
Bob is,
She knows? Okay, perfect.
I think she'd be a good person to talk to.
okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny you say that. It's a very popular
It really is.
activity in Kosciuszko
I was kind of
County.
surprised at the number of people I've had asked, because I try and really guide them toward, oh, you need to do.
Yeah, do the
and then,
trails,
yeah,
but
those were things that have been asked.
I
so.
appreciate you sharing that with us, and we want to make sure we're hitting that need for our visitors. But again, good morning. We have two board members in attendance. We have Jennifer and Michelle, our treasurer and our secretary of our executive board. So thank you for joining us this morning. Just quickly, our occupancy report for January. We haven't gotten our February yet, but occupancy is, you can help me, Kathy, a little bit. According to this, it was slightly down for January. However, average daily rate was up. Would
It
you say
was,
that?
rate was
Okay.
up, occupancy was down, RevPAR was up.
RevPAR was up, which is what potential
we-
investors we want
Correct.
to see. So you're seeing the same
And
thing.
you're not seeing the FF&E, the beating up of the hotel when you don't lower those rates.
Yes.
So you got to find the happy mix in the middle.
So-
So just because you see occupancy down does not mean that is
Exactly.
a distracting thing.
It's-
Doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
It can be a
It
positive.
can be a positive if you start to see that rate increase, and that's
Yes.
kind of where we're at on that cuff right now.
Is that how you feeling for February
do.
as well? Okay,
Yeah.
great. So I'm glad to see that. And we're pretty similar to all our market segments as well. So we're positive to see that. I wanted to mention, and Chad, you mentioned your fishing tournaments. We have our sports and events calculator that if you are able to share any information related to those events, Lake City Skiers and Mike at CCAC take advantage of the potential economic impact we're happy to assist with that. Sorry, just throwing that
No, we love
plug
to
there.
see that as well. Then we go to her and we get that data and it's very helpful.
It is. Okay. Oh,
Okay.
well, if we can investigate on your behalf, let me know. We're happy to assist that. We are still continuing and will continue to collect that sports and events calculator. If there was any way during any events that you can encourage them to seek us, our team does a really great job of trying to seek that data, but I know people get busy with their lives. But we're continuing that in 2023 and excited to see what those numbers are. And as I mentioned in January, we are doing our tourism economic impact study for 2022. Survey should be mailed out this week, so you may see a number of those in our attractions, as well as our hoteliers to get that data. Lake City, many of our attractions and events as well should be able to see this. We hosted our first quarter hotel meeting in February 15th. We had a good number. We're thankful for those who attend. I hope that it was a nice start of the year to get the feel of how 2023 is going to be. Exciting news, our 2023 visitor guide is live digitally on our website. Cross your fingers that we get it between mid-March and late March physically. So if you take a peek at that, I hope you're happy with it. We're excited for the new year. And we only have about 500 of our current guides left. So we were able to disperse them of the 50,000 that we do print out. And in your hands are our digital passports. We've been talking about these. This was just a way to be able to, in the visitors, or if any attractions around the county needed a piece specifically for this, maybe it's for the hotels, we can talk about that. We advertise a lot, but it's just that one-stop shop for these. So we're really pushing this to promote all of those activities in Kosciuszko County, from food to attractions as well. I wanted to update the Tourism Commission related to, we are applying for a IDDC Public Art Activation Grant. This is for a mural potentially inside the visitor center on the east wall, if you've been in the visitor center, to add an additional attraction or engagement to the visitor center. We know that we get an influx of visitors that are coming in. We're hoping that this mural, if awarded, will be an additional attraction and engagement to visitors and residents within. If awarded, we would be able to add it to our public art trail. It's just another way to engage and showcase Kosciuszko County using public art.
What's the amount of that request?
We can only request up to about $10,000.
Yeah.
But looking at applying, we probably only need about 7,000. So it's just something the state offers first. We wanted to go to them.
Sure.
We would promote the Kosciuszko County brands. Clearly, Kosciuszko, as you know, is a big initiative that all of us have been working on for 2023. The one, if awarded, I'm not sure I could share this with the team. The new identifier for state tourism is in Indiana. I'm not sure if some of you have seen it. It's kind of an identifier brand they're trying to push throughout the state, since it's a good brand to promote visitors, as well as a great place to live, work, play. So the whole state is around that initiative, making Indiana a great place to live, visit, and work. But that would have to be part of it in a small scale. So it would be on that east wall, and we'll just condense some brochures and add them in other places that we do have on that wall currently. So we wanted to let you know. We'll let you know if we're awarded.
And my thought was, if you think there's value to it and you're not awarded that grant,
Right.
that would be a perfect one for
would
us.
You'd be open to that?
It would be a
Okay.
one-time
Wonderful.
Yep.
Okay,
deal.
thank you. We've
Yeah.
been mulling over the idea for a while.
Not in
and
your normal budget. It would
Right.
be
Be
a project.
part of
Separate,
this
a
separate
grant.
grant request.
Right.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're, as many as you know, we enjoy adding more public art to our county, and that was just another way to do so and promote Kosciuszko
great
County.
idea.
And a local artist would be painting it. So it's all in Kosciuszko County. We are continuing our Dream On video series. As mentioned, Chuck mentioned, we are updating a lot of our footage that we have, and Mike, maybe we should get some footage of CCAC for some things as well, of events happening. but we are working on those. I will also mention Laura, our marketing communications manager, is in Kosciuszko Leadership Academy, and her team is doing a project related to, called Kosciuszko County by Choice. So there's a video series related to residents in the county that have chose Kosciuszko County as a place to live, work, and play. So I feel this would be a really great initiative, not just for tourism, but for the whole county as well. And once those are live, we'll be able to share it with you. We're very excited to see what that team is, so we're very proud of her. National Tourism Week is coming up in May. Can we believe it? We're already thinking about that. We will be doing some added promotions around National Tourism Week, and we're continuing our Cleary Kosciuszko strategic planning for the year and what that looks like for the CVB. One of the first things we're trying to do is we do have road signs. I'm not sure if maybe you're familiar with them. We're working to try to gather communities, all communities in the county, to have that roadside per their approval, to try to get that promotion and brand out more. So we're working on that. I didn't know if you had any questions related to our finances at all for myself or Jennifer. Should be pretty good.
No surprises.
Did you have any other questions for? I think 2023 is going to be a good year. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Corey. I
Yeah.
appreciate the update.
No, you have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Okay, next it looks like we have the approval of the minutes from January 18th. We can have a motion.
You don't want to chat, Mike?
He's support.
Gotcha.
I motion to approve.
Okay,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, minutes are approved. We have the review of the financials. It's pretty flat. Mhm.
No, it's right on them. I like it.
Started January 1st with 1.1 million, and as of the end of January, we're a little under $1,993,000. Our budget, $350,000, we moved to 33, or roughly 34,000, so we looked at some today. So we still have money
Yeah.
available to work with grants. I think we're up to date, Ron, on these receipts from the hotel.
Like we're up to date.
I still have a question on that Lily deal out there. Did they ever submit a bill? I don't see. Well, the Lakes Festival and the Lily Center operating, I think, 9,000 we awarded in November of 21. Doesn't show date, that's good.
Yeah, because,
a
yeah, it should have
year.
been, request for reimbursement should have been by December of '22.
Right,
Discussed that.
We did,
did.
Last time.
We did.
We had a meeting.
yeah,
we did.
yeah,
Check on, see where we stand.
Okay.
yeah.
So we can follow up with that.
Because then basically that appropriation disappears
Right.
if it's not requested. And
Right,
the reason we did it, we had things hanging out for a couple of years. So we just
Yeah.
said, we have to have a time
1
frame
year.
for reimbursement. If you really need the money,
Correct. You ought to need it within 12 months.
let's put a time frame on it. So it's the year following. So if it's approved this year by December of '24, it needs to be
Right.
requested, or reimbursed.
Okay, anything else?
So I'll make a motion to approve the financials.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then we have an additional person who kind of last minute came. We have the fairgrounds. Someone here from the fairgrounds to present the 9th Annual Rockin' Barbecue. Is anybody here? Okay.
Well, then we'll table that.
Maybe
Talk
we
about it
will
next
table
time.
that. Apparently, we will maybe add them to
We'll do that
the
the
May
next time.
notes. All right. Then do I have a motion to adjourn?
Do we have anything else we need to
Do we have
talk about?
further-
Anything? Anything?
I don't think so.
Good deal. Then I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Meeting
We're
adjourned.
out of here, man. So